Okay, so with the lagoons and pterosaurs done, there is one, but very large group left, the dinosaurs. So I sort of separated them out between the armored herbivores, sauropods, sort of your easy game, so your hadrosaurs, ornithomimids, and then we go into the small carnivores, medium carnivores, and large carnivores. So I'll start off with the herbivores with ankylosaurus. Looks very different to how it does in the movie. It's almost like I just saw you in Prehistoric Kingdom. I can't tell. I don't think it has the same sounds as the regular Ankylosaurus. I think it might be on the Euoplocephalus animation set, actually. But honestly, the base Ankylosaurus is somewhat oversized as well, and probably wouldn't hold its body in the correct way as an accurate Ankylosaurus would, which is more like this. And the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus, where it has more of a shell-like look, this is osteoderms built into thick skin, which is how ankylosaur armor is generally structured. So next is Euoplocephalus itself. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling so that it is the same. But I think it is a bit smaller than the Anky. I mean, I think next to Ankylosaurus, Euoplocephalus is easily the next most famous ankylosaur. And looks really nice. Looks very much like the skeleton that I've seen many times. Oh, look at that. Very spiky on those. Can't quite tell, but yeah, they are a bit smaller than the Anky, so the Anky's a little bit bigger. Now we have the diminutive Minmi from Australia. Certainly not as heavily armored. Oh no, actually. No, it does have quite thick armor, actually. But not quite as noticeable as the early Cretaceous Pax Minmi, which did have almost looked like an artichoke, actually. Like it looked like it was a big walking fruit. Like the regular Minmi from Jurassic World Evolution 2, but this one certainly looks a lot more like the depictions I've seen in museums. That very blocky head, and those osteoderms right on the neck. Oh! Euoplocephalus just had an interaction. Wow, they are so much smaller. Next we have Nodosaurus, which actually looks like how Nodosaurus is supposed to. The regular Nodosaurus that we have in Jurassic World Evolution in 1 and 2 is actually based off Borealopelta, which is the most complete nodosaurid fossil ever found, and so that's what the Nodosaurus was based off of. You can certainly tell when you look at it. But you can see this one is very different. So you can see with this Nodosaurus, he's a bit wider with that large plate there, but he's also got these large spines coming out of the neck. Wind's blowing a bit. But yeah, it looks really cool here, And yeah, it looks a lot more like a Nodosaurus than most depictions I've seen, and just what the Nodosaurus looks like in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So next up, we have another Nodosaurid, Polacanthus. Oh wow, that is a vibrant one. Well, you can certainly see the Nodosaurs are no stranger to having bright up. Whoa! That is very pink. Look at that. That is so pink. And very vibrant blue as well. I've never seen so vibrant a pink on any dinosaur in my life. Wow. I only randomized that one. Ooh, I like this one. Sort of like a beetle blue going on in this plate. I think that's all in that one. Yep. Next up is the last Nodosaurid and last ankylosaurid, Sauropelta. Oh, he's a mean looking one. Look at those spikes. It is very much a larger Nodosaurus in a few aspects. Like, if the Nodosaurus actually came a bit closer, you would be able to compare the two. Like, the spikes are just a whole lot bigger on this one. And I think there are more of them. I think Nodosaurus has only 3 sets, whereas this one, ooh, has a few more. So after the ankylosaurids, we now have the stegosaurs. So starting off with Chunkingosaurus. Has a much longer body than it did in the base game. He looks very happy though. Look at that face. And the tail has certainly been changed up. Rather than having just all these Thagomisers everywhere, it's got 4 Thagomisers here and then 2 smaller ones towards the tip of the tail, rather than having... It either had 10 or 8 on the tail in the base game. And the plates have also been made a bit smaller too. But it looks really nice. I love this, how this guy looks. You can even see that he's been given a bit more detail on the folds of skin around the shoulders. I like this blue one. So I'll just get this Sauropelta out of the way so we can release Gigantspinosaurus. Which, instead of having those large shoulder spikes going over in an arc... Oh. Loud bunch. As I was saying, the base game's Gigantspinosaurus, its shoulder spike goes up and over, whereas this one goes out and back, which I think is actually more accurate to the fossil. So, I mean, you'd hope so. This is a paleo-accurate, supposed to be a paleo-accurate one. It looks really nice. I like the stripes. And you've got the classic Thagomisers, which are very, very large on this one. And I think next we... Oh no! One's been left behind! Oh well, he's going to be stuck there for a while. Anyway, let's release Huangosaurus. Oh no. Alright, there's a few guys in the way. Oh wow, look at you! There's no music playing because I'm not on this one. But he looks really nice. He's got a very happy face too. Oh, I love the Huangosaurus' cute little sound. Got some very thin spikes compared to Giganspinosaurus and some of the other of these other stegosaurs. And you can see it has a lot similar characteristics to Kentrosaurus, where its plates at the front and then slowly become spiked at the back, or at least sharper plates towards the back end. But he looks really nice. Somewhat reminds me of, I think it's Dacentrurus, which is a different kind of stegosaurid. Look at this guy. Oh, look at them interacting over there. One of them, possibly the second most famous stegosaur, Kentrosaurus. That initial call almost reminded me of a Parasaurolophus. Not a Jurassic Park Parasaurolophus, but sort of similar to the one from Prehistoric Park. But this guy looks really nice. Wow, the spikes move with his legs. I guess they are on his shoulders, so it makes sense. But yeah, this guy's the classic giant Thagomizer tail. Like, look at those things. Those are proper weapons. And he may be small compared to most stegosaurs. I mean, he's larger than this lot. But although Giganspinosaurus actually looks like it's a good size. Probably about the same size, actually. Just a little bit taller. I think that's all from that. Now on to Stegosaurus, which has two species. So we have Stenops and Undulatus. And of course, it is the biggest of the lot. Oh, it's based on Pierce, the Cretaceous Kentrosaurus. Or at least the audio is. I'm not sure about the whole rig. Although I think they're very similar anyway. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's a shame it's not like the classic sounds. Ah, here you go. You can see the difference here. So, the four largest ones are Stegosaurus undulatus, but this little fella is Stegosaurus stenops, which is a different species of Stegosaurus, who is interacting with his cousin. Just gonna have to wait until these Stegos move out of the way. But yeah, Stegosaurus is... oh wow. Reminds me of the Walking with Dinosaurs Stegosaurus, actually. Just the overall look. Okay, lastly we have Werasaurus, which was one of the last Stegosaurs to have ever existed. And of course he's blocked. But by what? Come on. There we go. So this guy also comes with two different species. I'm just not sure how I'm going to differentiate them. Oh, here we go. This guy's a bit smaller than the others. Never mind, I figured it out. Look at that. Yeah, so Werasaurus is often depicted with much rounder plates, and certainly the one that's in the early Cretaceous pack certainly has that. But this depiction has somewhat more conventional stegosaur plates that are sharp at the top. And honestly, that is quite likely to be a case with Werasaurus. And this guy, not that guy, this guy is a smaller species. I just don't remember the name of it. Exciting little interaction. So now we begin the ceratopsians with Chasmosaurus. really has a strut to it. Oh, Whereosaurus. Whereosaurus did you come from? Oh wow, look at this pattern. I feel like I've seen this coloration of a Chasmosaurus before. I think I saw it on a toy, perhaps. Whether it was a Lost World toy or not, not sure, but he looks really nice. You can see the little osteoderms in his skin there. The Chasmosaurus has perhaps one of the most famous frills in the ceratopsian world. That large square frill I've actually seen in person, so it's really cool. I think it's in the miniseries Dinotopia. As one of the main dinosaurs, but yeah, it looks really nice here. So certainly a lot more athletic in its build than the regular one. Next we have Nasutoceratops. Who is much more colourful than last time I saw it. Oh, it sounds like a bear. That's a really nice model. And the Nasutoceratops is one of those ceratopsians that actually doesn't have a nose horn, rather instead having just a large nasal cavity. And bull-like horns, which gives it a very distinct appearance. Oh, this skin's nice. I like this one. And before I forget to mention it, the feet of the ceratopsians have also been changed on these models to better resemble how their feet actually were. They weren't like elephants' feet like they are in the franchise, but instead actually having individual toes. Ah, it's on a different rig. I don't know, I like the one that's on the when the Nasutoceratops bites the other one's horn. Now here we go with Pachyrhinosaurus. So Pachyrhinosaurus actually has 3 different species, and I managed to get all 3 of them here. So coming up first is Canadensis, the nominate species. Then we have Paratorum, which is a smaller Arctic relative, and then Lacustai, which is a pretty widespread one. Very big mouth on it though. Imagine that biting down on you. But look at that nasal boss. I mean, unfortunately it doesn't have those long like pycnofibers that the or proto-feathering that has often been depicted on this species of Pachyrhinosaurus. It would probably have taken a lot of work and would, I don't know, don't really know what, oh they've got a similar animation to the Nasutos. But yeah, this guy is so much smaller than the other Pachyrhinosauruses. Next we have Pentaceratops, the dubbed moose of the ceratopsians. He certainly still keeps that. He is huge. I don't know why, but Pentaceratops is just that ceratopsian that just looks proud. Like he needs to hold himself high above others or something. That's just what I get from the way it walks and the way it exits the hatchery. Like it holds its head so high. It's got a massive frill too though, and massive horns. Pentaceratops in fact means 5-horned face. Next we have Sinoceratops, which I know a lot of people don't really like the in-franchise design, as I know some people didn't even recognize that it was Sinoceratops in the film initially, until they read up on it. But this one is of course very different, with a much smaller horn, smaller frill, and no holes in that frill. Getting a feeling that the what was it? The Pachyrhinosaurus, the Ceratops, and now this the Sinoceratops were somewhat based off the Styracosaurus that we're going to see next. This might just confirm it. I'm not sure. Oh, yep, definitely. That full crown of horns. Very bright coloration. Almost has a somewhat white tiger look almost. But look at the size of the horn on him though. Oh, we've got a blockade of ceratopsians and Werosaurus in the way of our Torosaurus that has to exit next. Oh, and he's in the floor. He's gonna get out of the floor eventually. I know myself and a lot of people have often seen Torosaurus with a much larger frill. But this one looks very similar to a Triceratops. And I think it has slowly begun to look a lot more like Triceratops over the years. I guess you can tell it apart from the two species of Triceratops though. Those huge horns. It's certainly a hefty build. Let's see what Triceratops process has to say. Once it's allowed to release. Come on. Oh, get out of the way, guys. Come on. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's in the floor too. Oh, it's not you. You. So this is Triceratops process, which is the second species of Triceratops. Oh, he's in the floor too. So Triceratops horridus is the most well known, but this one was also discovered, and I guess it does have a bit of a smaller frill than the Torosaurus, so I guess it still keeps that title. But this one has often been depicted having its horns going forward and down, whereas I think horridus, its horns will go forward and up. Guess I'll just have to look at Triceratops horridus to find out. Blocked by what dinosaur? Stegosaurus? Got a perfect runway though. Just need to speed it up to see what happens. Oh, I've got a process walking through. Ah, here we go. Oh wow, that is bright colours. I love the horns though. They are magnificent. Yeah, so this is the classic Triceratops that everyone knows and loves. Triceratops horridus. Which I think might be a bit bigger than the Triceratops process. They'll just need to stand next to one another to be sure of that. But this one honestly reminds me, not this skin, but the model reminds me of Prehistoric Planet's Triceratops a bit. Now, I'm sure you can get a skin that can make it look like it, because I know for some other dinosaurs, you can get them looking really close. Now for our biggest stars of the day, the sauropods. Starting off with the mighty Alamosaurus. They get bigger? I love the detail on it though. It only has the nicest roar of the sauropods in my opinion. I like that roar. Look at that size of him. I did randomize them, yet they still got the same skin, but different patterns. They are massive. Just gonna mention this one detail, that titanosaurs don't actually have that large spiked claw that is seen on some sauropods. Like, I think it's on diplodocids more than anything else. Not sure, I can't quite remember. I remember the Dreadnoughtus that was in Prehistoric Planet was given it, and I watched a breakdown of it, and it stated that they do not actually have that. Low health. Oh dear. Let's see Amargasaurus, which no longer has exposed neural spines, instead forming a hump. And a single hump too. I love their sound too. Not really that second one, but the first one's really nice. Yeah, so you can see the two rows of neural spines that they generally have come together to and are covered with this hump, which is certainly one of the ideas that's been thrown out there for Amargasaurus over the years, like whether it supported a membranous sail between those spines or just a large hump. You may never know, really. Now we have two different species of Apatosaurus. So we have Apatosaurus ajax, and I think the other one's Louisi or something. But let's release Ajax. Oh wow, look at that. Just the Margosaurus standing there. I might be waiting for a social interaction. Yep, I was right. But look at the size of him. He is massive, and then you got the second one coming out. Honestly, I could believe this if you told me this was the Jurassic World one. Because the face is very similar. Like, you just need to match up the colours and there you go. It's a lot leaner than the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Apatosaurus, I'll tell you that. And a bit taller it looks too. Ah yeah, so if I'll pause this and go into capture mode. I can show you that claw. Yeah, there it is. It's a bit smaller on Apatosaurus, but it is there. So we'll now release the second kind of Apatosaurus. And since it's the same one, we'll just speed it up. I will tell you now that this guy has a much thicker neck. I think even a shorter neck. Looks shorter. But he's certainly more heavily built than the other Apatosaurus. Is he bigger? Oh no, he is smaller. We'll speed these guys up to get them out so you can see our two Brachiosaurus. If we can release them. Yay! I feel like the neck's just going to get bigger. Oh yeah, there we go. Now for those who don't know, the regular Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus was actually based more off Giraffa titan, an African relative to this Brachiosaurus. But honestly, if you changed them out and just gave them a bit closer of their accurate skull shape, I wouldn't really notice the difference too much. They're not too different. But he is much taller than all the other sauropods around him. Except probably the Almosaurus. Look at the size of that. Next we have three species of Camarasaurus. I think it's Lentus, Grandis, and Supremus. I only know those because of Prehistoric Kingdom. Certainly a nicer face. The Jurassic World Evolution Camarasaurus has a very strange face, I will say. I just love the detail on it. It looks magnificent. Oh, this guy has a claw on his foot too. Didn't check the Brachiosaurus though. So I think this is the smallest of the Camarasaurus species. So if we release the second one once he's out. Okay. So let's release Grandis. Oh, it's a dead dino, right? So yeah, you can see he is a bit bigger. I'll just speed him up so we can count. He's got a very much more exciting pattern than the first one. You can see here, he is a good deal larger than our first Camarasaurus. Now let's see how Suprema stacks up next to them. Oh yeah, he is supreme. We'll get him out and have a look. Oh, he's just taller than Grandis. Look at that pretty little face, though. Big eyes. Now we have Diplodocus, which also has two species. I think this one doesn't have spines, but the other one does. I will say, however, Diplodocus is probably the longest dinosaur I've ever seen. I was looking at the species viewer before I recorded, and the next Diplodocus, and potentially even this one, has a tail longer than the body and neck combined, which is just insane. I feel like I should just change the sandbox thing so that animals aren't like starving. Yeah, all and all. Let's do that. There we go. Now for our second one. So I'll speed this up. Yeah, you can see he's got his neural spines. I just don't know whether he's much larger or not. Oh no, he is. He is larger. Look at that. That is massive. Truly immense. Next you have Dreadnoughtus, and then 6 different species of Mamenchisaurus. Can't wait. Whoa, look at the size of this fella. I think his neck's actually longer too. Oh yeah, it is longer. I don't remember Dreadnoughtus having a neck quite this long. And thick too, jeez. Would have been cool if it was the Prehistoric Planet one. But my goodness, that is a thick neck. And a big head too. Look at that. Well, that's taller than all the Camarasaurs. I think it's a bit shorter than the Brachiosaurus though. But now for easily the tallest dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution to the Mamenchisauruses. Now after this one I will speed through the others. Oh my goodness, you cannot even see the whole neck. Still going. Oh, this one has spines. Cool. Oh, I love the detail there on the shoulders. Those larger scales. The fact that you can't even see it yet. Has a huge neck though. Oh my goodness, whoa. I mean, it's not even taller than the Brachiosaurus, but that is a humongous neck on such a small body. I mean, I say small body, it's a massive body, but compared to the neck, whoa. I often question how likely the Mamenchisaurus's neck length is. So this is a bit of a smaller one. Just speed him out. Yeah, he's... Oh wow, he is a lot shorter. Try and get this other one out before... Yeah. Ooh. Here's another tall one. Gotta make sure the Diplodocus gets out of the way. Is he taller than the other? Oh no, just slightly shorter it looks. Now we have another one. How big's this one? Oh no, he's a bit smaller. Or is he? Oh no, he is. Oh no, he is not. Okay, there we go. Okay, he's a lot bigger than the other two. Much bigger. Oh, other three, I should say. Didn't even see this guy. We just have two more, and then we have Nigersaurus, and that rounds out our sauropods. I have a feeling this one's going to be massive. Oh wow, look at the blue on the back. Or is that white? Can't tell if it looks like snow or what. Look at that glowed in the dark. Oh wow, that is bright. Well, he's certainly tall, but he seems to hold his neck at more of an angle than the other two larger Mamenchisaurus. And we just have one more, which I think is the smallest of the lot. Oh, see, that neck just looks so awkward. So the other smallest Mamenchi is over here now. Yeah, I mean, he looks a bit smaller. Now let's release our Nigersaurus. Or is it Nigersaurus? Not sure. Dr. Wu said Niger. Most people say Niger. Love the pattern on these guys. And we have a third one coming out back there. Guess these guys are clearly a lot smaller than the Diplodocus. Okay, let's move on to our game dinosaurs. So we have Corythosaurus, two species, first up. You actually walk on all fours. And have the hadrosaurid hoof. So many of the hadrosaurs have been transitioned from a largely bipedal stance to a quadruped. We just have our other Corythosaurus, which I think is smaller. I mean, they might actually be the same size. Oh no, they're very close, I will say. Next we have Edmontosaurus annectens, the largest hadrosaur in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So it actually looks like it's about the same size as the regular Regalis. Guess we'll just have to put the Regalis next to it. Once we can release them. Let's see. Oh no. Oh no, they are the same size. I know some of these paleo-accurate mods have made the animals different sizes, but in this case they are exactly the same size. And lastly, the no longer shocking Maiasaura. Actually looks pretty cool now. Oh, big old Edmontosaurus in the way there. Okay, so there's our Myosaura. Looking very different to how it generally looks in Jurassic World Evolution. With that white head and those deer in headlights eyes. Now we have 3 kinds of Parasaurolophus. 2 of which I believe are in Prehistoric Kingdom, and then a 3rd one that I don't recognise. So I think this is Ceratopsians, which is in Prehistoric Kingdom, and I do recognise having a much smaller crest. Much smaller animal, of course. Okay, I think this one is based on the Edmontosaurus, it looks. And this is our 2nd largest. I think this one might actually be the species I don't recognise. And then lastly is Parasaurolophus walkeri. Most famous. Although it actually seems like he's not quite the biggest. Yeah, he's not. These paras are even bigger. Now we have Allura Titan, the giant swan. Oh, it's invisible. Oh dear. Oh no, they're all still in there. Okay, that's a problem. Can I find them? Oh dear. That's not good. Am I able to release the Centaurosaurus while I'm here? I don't think so. Just give me a second, guys. Well, the Allura Titan and Centaurosaurus may release at some point. But we'll just have to move on, I guess, with Dryosaurus. So there are 2 kinds of Dryosaurus. So this is the first, which is absolutely tiny. I mean, I think they might actually be the same size. Oh, you just see the teeth on the roof of his mouth there? So, seems like it's based off of maybe the Dracorex, possibly. I heard homilocephaly. Oh yeah. Oh no. That's the Dryosaurus sounds. Maybe they just shrink them. Oh no. Okay, I was worried that another one just got stuck. So one may have just run out during the release. Anyway, next is the first of 2 species of Iguanodon. Oh, he didn't want to stick around, did he? Look at the size of him. Big, rusty red Iguanodon. That's still smaller than the Edmontosaurus. Next we have a smaller species of Iguanodon. Look how bright those claws are. Then we have another species of Iguanodons, the Muttaburrasaurus. Which, looking at it, looks very much like the one from Prehistoric Kingdom. I mean, not quite the same patterns, but Very similar design overall. I guess that just shows how accurate the Prehistoric Kingdom one is, and how accurate this mod is to our understanding of this Australian dinosaur. Wow, I did not realize how bright red that Mosasaurus was. Next we have Oranosaurus, which I think actually released in the same update as Herbivores in Prehistoric Kingdom. I think it's even using the same model here. Oh, rig I mean. Yeah, you don't usually see a bipedal Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Most of them are actually just on all fours, although I think the base Edmontosaurus that isn't the Camp Cretaceous one, it will run out like the Iguanodon on 2 legs, but we don't have that one. So let's release Homalocephali next. Look at these little guys. They may have a different design, but they're still cute as heck. Look at these little guys. The Tyrannosaurus could tread on one. Next we have 2 species of Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus spinifer and Wyomingensis. So this is, I think, meant to be a smaller species that's very similar in overall appearance to animals like Dracorex and Stygimoloch, which are smaller stages of growth in Pachycephalosaurus itself. But it would be cool if this species were to sort of carry those titles into the future. Now we have Pachycephalosaurus itself. The best known species of Pachycephalosaurus, that is. Staying about the same size. Just a lot of extra nodules on its face. It's a very heavily armoured head. Guess it has to be heavy duty when your main competition is your own kind and you can bust through an iron door. Next we have Ornithomimosaurs. First up, Archaeornithomimus. All covered in feathers. Just looks right this way, just having Ornithomimids fully feathered, wing feathers and everything. And the patterns are insane. Yeah. Giving them feathers is a good idea. Oh wow, look at the colours on some of these. If I can get to them. Sort of reminds me of how Archaeornithomimus looked in the first Jurassic World Evolution. In terms of the colours. But wow, that is striking. Now for the biggest of the Ornithomimosaurs, Dinosaurs. And the power is probably going to ruin this shot. Oh no, it's an Iguanodon. The Dinosaurs that we got in the Feathered Species pack was already great. But honestly, I do not mind this one at all. I like it. I really like the different beak, because honestly the beak of the Dinosaurs that we did get is something off about it in my personal opinion, but overall this looks pretty nice. I mean, I don't know about I don't know if that's meant to be the regular feather textures there. I don't know if they could necessarily translate the ones that were already present on the regular Dinosaurs or not. Oh yeah, that's the animation, just sits its tail on the other's head. Okay, next is, we just gotta get these guys out of the way. Gallimimus. And they're not out of the way, they walk back. Oh wow, there's so many different colours. Look at that green one. Or greenish blue. Yeah, so Gallimimus looking really nice here with all those colourful feathers. I mean, this one's relatively plain, but it's still striking, like the bright white, the blacks and greys, so many different shades. And lastly, Struthiomimus. Okay, they do all have different sizes compared to others. Although I think that is actually something that's in the base game, where Struthiomimus is smaller than Gallimimus. Because Gallimimus is massive though.